In the new transaction Dart file, which is where we define these form elements, you can also replace the text fields here with Cupertino text fields. There are Cupertino text fields available, and on these text fields you can also set up a bunch of things. You can set up a placeholder text, which would be your replacement for the label text here in input decoration. There you don't assign, so on the Cupertino text field, you don't assign a decoration, input decoration object, but you directly have a placeholder argument which you can use to set a placeholder text. And in general, as always, if you hit Control Space, you get an overview over what you can set. And that's quite a lot here. Just as on the material text fields, you can set autocorrection, a cursor color. In some details, like the placeholder text, there are differences, but in many places, you can basically control these text fields just as you control the text fields on material design. I'll not implement it here though, because I rather like that material design look, and I want to have it here in my iOS app too. For the button, however, for the Choose State button, we can use the Cupertino button instead to see how we could do that. So instead of that flat button, again, we can use platform is iOS. And if that's true, I want to use the Cupertino button here and not the flat button. Now, important, Cupertino by default has that flat look. Now here, I'm getting an error regarding platform. And you also need to make sure to use the Cupertino button that you import package flutter cupertino.dart into this file as well. You need to import it into every file where you want to use Cupertino styled elements or widgets. And to unlock the platform class, we need to import dart::io, just as before. Now we can use both, and now for the Cupertino button here, you could set a color to add a background to this button if you want to turn it from a flat button into a raised button. And now for this button here, we can add a child and the onPressed listener. We need both here on this Cupertino button as well. And if I save this and I restart this app and we go back, now here we have the Cupertino flat button. Looks pretty similar to the flat button for Android, but is the Cupertino one. As I can prove, if I go here on my Cupertino button and I change the color temporarily to color is blue. If we do that, now you see we have a blue background here. And that can be used, as I said, to also create a button which has that, well, raised button look or that with background button look, which you of course also have on iOS. Here, however, I don't want to have that. I'll leave the default, which correctly inserts the color of the text. And yeah, looks pretty similar, but now is the Cupertino button, which you can especially see if you tap on it. Then instead of that ripple effect, it gets this opacity, which you're used from iOS buttons.